We are recording. Everything is functioning properly. How y'all doing?
Stoked.
Doing great.
Very excited.
Awesome. So tell everybody who's listening on the airwaves who you are and a little bit about your show.
I'm Jack. See me as Just Jack in all the Discords. With me, I got the tried and true Brian,
Hello.
who's also on Golden Dice. Known each other since kindergarten.
Yeah, been a while.
Ooh, long time.
Yeah, a little too long, some would say.
Definitely. No.
Is this the end tour? You're gonna break up like Daft Punk?
Yeah, this is we're kind of just one more. I don't even know if you could call it a victory lap.
Okay.
Walk of shame.
Yeah.
It's
I was gonna
Which
say,
one of
did
you
we ever win?
explodes?
Me. Yeah, I exploded.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
definitely me.
That's funny.
So, what are you guys jamming on right now?
That's a tough question. Well, since there's been no real competitive events since the launch of Twilight of the Republic, we've just been kind of doing some basement things. But even then, not too many these days, right, Jack?
Yeah, it's mostly just been kind of like basement, but it's even just been the nature of Thanksgiving into just like already ramping up for the other holiday season and whatnot. Just like so many things going on to where we haven't posted a gameplay video in a few days.
A few days. I think it's been like a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we all still all of us are still talking about the game and like reactions to it. But I mean, if you're talking of what I've got sleeved up, I've got Quinlan Voss Tarkentown, and I've got Kira ECL. Those are like, especially Kira's kind of been like one of the decks that I always come back to. Just blue, green, like villain, like unit control, mid-range control, however you want to say what it is. I just always have a blast with.
Yeah, I have a similar. I have Kira ECL. I have Django Tarkentown. I have Obi-Wan ECL because Obi-Wan's my boy. I'm going to try to make him work. It's my pet deck for the set. And then I have another one. Oh, Sabine Green because I'm one of those.
Hey, Sabine's back, baby.
Sabine is back.
We've talked about Obi being like really interesting into the meta of this ping world of Voss, of Cad, of
I've
Django.
enjoyed Obi of every color, truthfully. I mean, I do prefer him in yellow just because I think that's a little spicy. I think you've got a little bit of a little combo play going on that you can do, but I think ECL is like the logical, smart choice,
Now, I've heard rumors you guys have a YouTube channel and you do a podcast. So if people are listening and they want to hear more about Star Wars Unlimited, where should they find you?
Yeah, we mainly do like YouTube content, but we also have Facebook and Twitter where we like keep up to date and even post, keep everybody up to date on like spoilers and post, some decks and like post questions and have like general chat about Unlimited as well. So you can definitely find us on those. But yeah, our YouTube is where we'll post all our gameplay. We'll do deck guides sometimes. We'll post our podcast there. Podcasts also on like pretty much everywhere: Spotify, Apple, all those all those things. Wherever you listen to a podcast, we are probably on there. And if we're not, message me and reach out because I'd like to be as available as we can. But yeah, I mean, we go back all the way to the Destiny days. We played Destiny to its bitter end and even like did content to the bitter end.
And afterwards, actually, a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, we had like some extra stuff like the like that committee thing that started going, trying to keep the game alive and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we came from that. We saw the announcement for SWU and we're like, let's give it a try. And then they just kept saying all the right things. And so we're like, all right, I mean, I guess we're in. And then they started doing the right things, and now
I
it's way
know.
too much.
See, that's where it makes a difference.
way too much.
You can say the right things, but if you don't do the right things, it's a bunch of talk is cheap,
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about Star Wars Unlimited as a game. So, what are some of the things you're enjoying right now? So at the time of this recording, we're about mid-December. This episode's going to come out early January. So there will be a little bit of a time shift. So some of these things we talk about for the rest of the episode could change. But, there's something about Star Wars Unlimited that pulled you in. And I want to know a little bit more about that and why you love the game so much.
Cool.
That's a tough question, but also a really easy question. The game is just so good. I think the fact that there are, I'm going to make this pun every time we talk about Star Wars Limited, unlimited combinations, unlimited possibilities, all that kind of good stuff for building decks and, playing with your favorite characters from Star Wars and the leaders. The you go, I go mechanic is really, the gameplay is just so, it pulls you in really well. And plus I get to play with all my friends, this is the group, this is what we do. So it's just been great. I like building memories. This is what we did with Destiny as well. And it just kind of continues.
Yeah, we. I mean, if you go back and talk to like our favorite things about like Destiny and why we kept playing, huge part of it was the community, and I feel like SWU has kind of risen to that as well, and like just been a blast to like see people talk, hang out, and so it's just been easy to jump in. It also helps that the game is great as well. I'm a big fan. I've gravitated towards games where I can have like a leader out. I don't know if that's because Destiny was like my first big CCG. And so now I'm just kind of stuck in like, I need to have a leader that's on the board and does things all the time.
So you're playing a One Piece then, huh?
Yeah, we did. I played One Piece
for a
little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shocking. Are you going to play the new Project K for the League of Legends card game?
No. That'll probably be like a booster or not booster, like a starter pack or something along those lines.
This game is
it's hard for
ragged.
me to balance like two CCGs at the same time, but definitely interested. But yeah, so just like all that stuff just kind of makes it super exciting for us. The community, the game's great. Like, I had a blast towards the end of Destiny with seeing where Jeremy was taking the game, and so like seeing his name on it too was another thing that was like, all right, I definitely want to give this like a real shot, and just kept playing. Like the game's just fun.
So what are some of your favorite cards to collect? So let's step away from the player side, regardless of meta or anything like that. Is there a character? Is there a color? Is there like what if you had like the entire selection of cards available at this moment? What would you gravitate towards to put on your shelf and go, ooh, that's gonna look cool. That's my favorite card or cards.
Ooh,
it's a hard hitting question there.
My most I don't own it, but my most coveted would probably be like if I could get a playset of Luke Skywalker in hyperspace.
Oh,
he's like one of my favorites, and then also just like a really good card too. So he works both ways of it. But yeah, I feel like I end up collecting most of like blue green villain. Like I feel like my Kira deck just kind of naturally ended up with like the most of what I've collected, and I really do go for like almost everything. I have like the OP kits, I have hyperspaces and stuff like that. So really, like whatever I can get my hands on, I usually try to grab. The hyperspaces, like if I can get that is what I'm going for.
It's funny that in Destiny we were kind of split. Like I was usually a villain player and you were usually a hero player. But yeah, I feel like this game we've kind of evolved into playing just about everything. I don't think there's really any particular. Like I've played it all, and we had to play it all for the gameplay videos to keep it fresh. And we've tried just about every leader. There are some I won't name that haven't really made the cut, but
IG88.
Yeah, well, no, that's you're barking up Flock's alley right there. That's exactly what he wants. He loves IG88. But for me, I mean, I don't know. Does the showcases count? Because they have become my absolute kryptonite. Yeah, I don't want to say how many I have.
How many you have? How many you got?
How many do you think I have? Is the question. Yeah, you have to do a guess.
Okay. I need some information. So how many boxes have you opened, like in total?
Oh, I don't want to say that either.
Oh, come on, you gotta help me somewhere here.
So I have opened, and this is not what I recommend for anybody to do at home, but I have opened about 25 per set.
So 75?
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
And
for people to know, just so they kind of have a point of reference, a booster case is 6 booster boxes. So that means 6 times 4. So you've opened about 4
cases per set.
4 cases per set. Okay.
Yes.
So okay. Have you bought or traded for any showcases, or am I just guessing based off the pull rate?
Yes, I definitely have bought and traded. For mine, yeah.
So that will increase the number. So I'm gonna guess about 17 to 20.
Yeah, you're on the right ballpark. It's about 26.
Okay, yeah. Because if you now if we counted what you pulled, I'm assuming it's closer to like 15.
Yeah, so what I've pulled is probably closer to about 7. So I've pulled Hera, Chewie. Nope, I haven't pulled Chewie. I pulled Hera, Boba Fett from set 1, Lando, Fennec, Rey, Anakin, and Ahsoka.
So most of them you've traded or bought.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
They are my absolute
an
kryptonite.
interesting metric.
You got that boba in a Lucy too.
Yeah, so it's
oh,
funny.
Tell the story. Tell us.
So the midnight release, our store did a midnight release for set 2, and we were thriving. I was up. I took off that day. I was up until 7 a.m. I opened a lot of boxes that night. It was crazy. So I pulled Rey on our stream, and then I went home and I pulled Fennec and Lando, which not too bad. I have all the yellow heroes from that set, that was cool. And the weekly afterwards, because if you recall, Spark Rebellion was kind of hard to find early around set 2.
Yep.
They didn't have a ton of it, so
you could find it now.
Yeah, you can find it now in mass, but and trust me, I've gone back, I've revisited. But the local game store that we sometimes go to for our game nights had it. And I was like, you know what? I'll take a pack of Spark of Rebellion, and I'll take a pack of Shadows of the Galaxy. And I opened the Spark first, saw the little foil, and was like, no way, no shot. And of course, it was Boba Fett in his prime, his heyday, before suspension. And I said some things I can't say here, and the rest of the game store did not care for me the rest of the night. So, but it was great. I'm really enjoying taking a look into those showcases, and I mean, all the cards are good. I can't complain, but yeah. Okay.
Well, that's fascinating to know that out of 70-ish boxes, you only pulled 7. So it's like very, very low pull rate.
Yeah. I wish it was more, but apparently there's a life hack.
I have you beat. In the lack of ability to pull showcases.
There's a spectrum, and we're on opposite ends.
Okay.
I'm like 12 boxes a set, and I pulled 1.
Ooh, well, that seems to be about right, because if you cracked 75 boxes and you've pulled 7, it seems like a 1 in 10, give or take.
Yeah.
Did you pull a good one?
No, Fennec.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, not so great.
Not so great. Well, that's actually a great opportunity to segue into a topic I'm very intrigued about, and that is the newly announced Carbonite packs from Fantasy Flight Games, starting with the 4th set, Jump to Lightspeed. And essentially, for those who are listening, if you know anything about Magic the Gathering, it's what's called a collector's booster. So it's going to be much more expensive, and it's going to have a high propensity of rare cards. So you're basically paying a higher cash rate to potentially increase your pull rates for just a lot of stuff. Actually, I can pull up your post on Twitter here. So Carbonite Booster Pack contains 16 cards, including approximately 1 hyperspace / a showcase leader, 6 premium foil cards, 1 foil rare or 1 foil legendary card, 1 prestige card, which we'll talk about that here in a second, 4 hyperspace cards, 1 hyperspace rare / legendary card, and 2 hyperspace foil cards. No specific card rarity is guaranteed to exist within an individual pack, booster box, or booster case. So the big thing a lot of people want to know is what do we think the pull rate for a showcase leader would be, considering with your metrics, it sounds like it's about 1 showcase leader per 10-ish booster boxes.
I hope it's 1 a box. I need help. Right?
Ooh, that would be sick.
If it's 1 a box, I definitely think that's like an instant buy. You're gonna run out. All stock's gonna be going pretty quick. But they've answered Jack's prayers here. That's exactly what he needed.
What about 1 a case?
I think it depends on the price, right? Like, I don't know what they plan to.
Yeah, I mean,
get rid of these things for.
I think one a case will end up being, because what price has been floated for this? I
believe you said it was 25 a pack.
So that would be what, like around the 300 mark for a box?
Because it's 12 packs.
Yeah.
for a box.
Mm-hmm.
We can do math while we're recording. While you're doing,
Can we?
I can't. I'm
Yeah, I
certainly
hope you
struggling.
can.
Oh,
I was
okay,
using my
hold on,
fingers
stand
and my
by.
toes.
So we got $25 a pack times 12 packs. So it's about $300 a box times. We'll
Yeah.
assume it's 6 boxes per case. So it's $1,800 for a
Holy
case.
moly! Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
and then you got taxes. So give or take maybe $2,000. Now again, that's MSRP, which that can fluctuate, depending on lots of factors. So there could be a higher market rate hike. But the other thing that I find interesting is if you have the opportunity to pull a showcase leader per box, or even one per case, like guaranteed, which they said they didn't guarantee, but let's say in this speculative world it is. The price of showcase leaders right now is not particularly high. I'm looking online right now, and as the time of this recording on the 16th of December, Boba Fett showcases are going for about market price of $530, and then you immediately drop down to Leia at about $400, and then the next highest is Anakin at $350, and then everything else is like $300 or lower.
Right. It
So
kind of fluctuates.
Yeah, it fluctuates, but like if people just discovered, oh, if I drop $2,000, I'm guaranteed a showcase. Why not just buy a showcase raw off of the internet?
Yeah,
it's
no, I think
way
that's
cheaper.
I think that's the right call, and I think it also is going to come down to what was the one rarity, the prestige rarity?
Yeah,
I mean, what are those looking like? What are those going to go for? I mean, it's going to be it's got to be made out of solid gold, right?
Yeah,
it comes with a free massage.
I mean, that's tough for me. If it's like one in
shop.
a case, that feels for a showcase that feels rough, and they'll really have to make up ground in whatever the Carbonite ends up being.
I think the day that they decide, like, hey, we're gonna do a stream and talk about these boxes, and my eyes are gonna be glued to the screen.
I guarantee by the time this goes live, we'll have more information. I would be shocked if we didn't.
Yeah. There's got to be, and I got to see the treatment, and I also like for Magic.
Yeah,
you probably know more than me on that. What's like pull rate on like rares and like whatever their legendaries are? I forget.
Yeah, mythics. So if you get a collector booster, you get 15 cards plus a double-sided foil token, so 16 cards. I actually have the layout right here. So you get 5 traditional foil commons, 4 traditional foil uncommons, 1 traditional foil full art land. Those are pretty cool. A foil rare or mythic rare, a traditional non-foil mythic borderless commander, or a non-foil extended art commander, 2 non-foil mythic rares or extended alt art cards, and then 1 rare or mythic card. So you get more rares, or more. You get more shots at a rare / mythic rare, which for the Star Wars Limited would be a legendary, essentially.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of bothers me. Like, they're similar price points, similar idea.
Though. They're $5 more, which it may not sound like a lot, but it's more like
definitely adds up. Yeah,
it adds up fast.
Yeah, I and the other thing I was kind of thinking about when looking at the description of these boxes are that I think that the foil cards have been really kind of divisive. I think a lot of people are kind of take it or leave it on the foils. Some people really want them for the collection or whatever have you. I mean, I personally don't. I don't really care for the foils myself. I think when you got the borderless hyperspace ones, they just look better. But again, I think that comes down to preference. I think that comes down to, if you're the person that's buying this box, I mean, you clearly know what you want. I mean, you have to clearly know what you want to spend what they're asking for. If they're asking, I don't know what they're asking for, but it's gonna be a tough one.
I think 300-ish is a pretty
I would assume that
safe assumption.
I hear you, but I don't want to believe that just yet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's cheaper. It's cheaper than Magic. I mean, I think the idea behind. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I almost don't hate any of it if they swap the 6 premium foil cards in the Carbonite to 6
hyperspace
foil.
And again, we'll have to see what the premium, like what that means. Is
prestige?
Well, no. So there's the prestige card, but then they say it's 6 premium foil.
So is that the judge foiling? Maybe
what is a premium foil? Yeah. So and that could, and that to me would be a little bit nicer. But basic foils, I'm in the camp of like, I don't really care.
Yeah, and there's a lot of unknowns because if you look at the one foil rare / legendary, it doesn't say premium foil rare. So we could assume that 6 premium foil cards could be a pool of like alternate art foils, like those. Someone was asking if they're going to be the judge foils or the similar to like the con exclusive foils.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I could see an argument for that. The biggest thing is like where coming from like a business perspective or even a collector's perspective as just a person with the opportunity to spend money on this, like where is the value in this pack? And I do like the fact that there's like 7 to 8 hyperspace cards, which is way better than the current ratio for a standard booster pack.
Yep.
You're going to walk away with 9 or 10 foil cards, and we still don't know what premium foil represents. So I agree. I'm not like in love with the standard card art with a rainbow foil on top of it. I do like the hyperspace cards much better. But you also have like a guarantee of a hyperspace leader or a showcase leader, which is significantly better than the current booster pack rates. So that's pretty nice. Like you will get a hyperspace leader at the worst, which some of those could go for a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you're guaranteed a hyperspace rare, potentially legendary, which those are also hard to pull.
Yeah. The hyperspace foil legendary, I think, is like essentially the same rate or close to the same rate as a showcase.
Yeah. Those are really, really hard to pull. And then the 2 hyperspace foil cards, it doesn't. So the big thing we really need to know is, can a rare or legendary be in one of these nebulous slots? Because it's guaranteed you get a foil rare or a foil legendary. Can a rare or legendary be in the premium foil slot or the hyperspace foil slot? If they are, that could change things and definitely favor, good pull rates out of this. If not, then
yeah, right, exactly.
Congratulations, you're locked to commons and uncommons. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Help.
And I think I went 2 cases on set 3, and even in the middle, like going into that, I was like, this might be my last on like going this big, because getting 2 cases didn't feel like amazing for this set. So I think going to the next one, I'll do a case of base cards and then get one of these boxes. Is my current plan: a case of regular old Swoo boxes and then 1 Carbonite.
1 Carbonite box. Okay. There's so many like junction points based on what you said I want to talk about, but I want to stay focused on the Carbonite packs just for a little bit longer, and then I've got some questions for you. But overall, with the limited information we have, do you think this is a good move by Fantasy Flight to introduce a collector set just because they've never done it before? And not all card games have this. We obviously know Magic the Gathering is, pretty much the standard. So they've set the tone for expectations. And traditionally, I've opened quite a few collector packs from Magic. They usually pay out pretty well. They're not necessarily going to guarantee you're going to get that $30 for the pack, but usually I feel like I'm walking away with like $15 to $20 at the worst. If you get a good hit or like a Japanese alt art or something, it's like, cool, I just made all my money back and then some. But I've never opened a collector's pack and been like, oh, I got like $2 in cards. Why?
Yeah.
I got my taxes back in returns.
That's tough.
I'm of the camp that I don't see a downside. And again, there's probably people a lot more knowledgeable than me. But I'm excited to see FFG take a step into it. And I'm going to be buying it. So I'm definitely not somebody who's like, why would they ever do this? I'm like, yep, it's perfect. I'll take 12. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Star Wars. It's a card game that's doing well and is very popular. I agree with Jack. I don't really see a downside to it. I think it's smart, right? They're going to sell no matter what. But
yeah, I agree. Oh, is that a cat?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh man, love cats. They're great. We've got a fourth podcaster with us tonight. What's Kitty's name?
Bella always shows up just when you don't want her around, but
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I think another thing I want to pivot to, based on what you were talking about, Jack, is the classic argument. This is going to be fun. We're going to have some good chat here. Buying sealed product, buying singles, and for people who don't know, singles are going to be cards on places like trading tcgplayer.com. Insert your favorite website that sells singles, or buying sealed product, which would be like a booster pack, booster box from your local game store. A sealed product, you get a bunch of cards, and you have no idea what's inside. If you buy a single, you know exactly what you're getting, and you know exactly the price you're paying for it. So coming from, you guys have bought a ton of sealed product, and now you're going to start to pivot to a little bit of sealed, and then you're going to fill in gaps with buying singles. What do you think is the best pathway for the average person? Because it is fun to crack packs and see if you can pull a big hit. But you guys have opened over 100 boxes collectively, and then we haven't even accounted for the other two members of your team.
Wow, I hate that you said that.
I wish you wouldn't have said that, honestly. And most of that is me, so that feels even worse.
So one of you has done 70%, 75% of the lifting, and then Jack was there cleaning up and going, "Hey, I've got some."
I got us over the finish line.
Yeah, you got to the 100% line. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think I cracked like 20, 30 boxes of the first set. It was a lot. It was many cases, but like
it's such a good set though. Like
it is.
I think I can say confidently that opening the second set felt less good than the first, and opening the third set felt less good than the third. So like I agree with Jack again. Like ramping down makes sense. Whether or not the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, right? Like. And you add carbonate boxes on top of that, and I have no idea. But for the right sensible person, if you want like a play set, I can't speak to the sensible person because I'm just not. I know what I am. I know the animal that I am with card games. It's a problem. But I think for the sensible person, like I think a case makes sense, right? Like, and if you get a case, you can kind of work your way into some drafts, some seal pools. You can, get a friend into the game and do it that way. Don't do what I do. I definitely have done it incorrectly. And I felt the burn of that every month after release this whole year. So,
okay.
But I think a case and then some singles definitely to fill out your collection makes sense.
Okay.
And it's kind of like hard to make a blanket statement because like I said, Brian, you said, set 1 felt great to open 12 boxes, whereas set 3 didn't feel as great to do it. And now, I'm not saying set 3 is like a bad set, but in terms of like,
definitely,
I wouldn't buy a case to be like, I'm going to get value out of it because I don't think you should look at like a CCG like that necessarily, like, especially just buying.
It's not a stock market.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's a game. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not like set 1's better because it has value, but like it definitely, you go down the list and there's like plenty, almost all legendaries are like at least 15, I think. Whereas like set 3, it's like some of these legendaries I didn't even bother listing on my TCG Player store to sell because like
$3,
$5
baby,
and then shipping is like I would make $3 from.
You want a $2 clone?
We should talk after this. I might be interested.
Yeah, that's what like it felt like I had to basically do like local or some type of bulk where it's like you're buying 3 or 4 of my cards as compared to previously.
No, that's fair. Trading cards are an interesting monster because, especially after COVID, a lot of people started speculating into trading cards, especially like Pokemon, hoping to hit these big, super hard to find rares that are going for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that Moonbryon card that was going for like $1,500.
Yeah. Yep.
So everyone saw, oh my God, a Pokemon card can be worth, $1,500. How much is a booster box? 100. Well, this only makes sense. I'll clearly get one, and then it'll pay for everything else. And that does not happen that way.
That's not how it works. Yep.
That's not how it works. But there's that illusion of, if I buy a case of Star Wars Unlimited, I could pull a showcase rare, and Boba Fett is banned, and he's still going for fetching a $500 price. Cool. I'll buy a case for $500. I'll get the Boba Fett, and everything else is extra. And clearly with our metrics, that's not how that works. But There is
That's how I think, though.
That's how I wish.
That was what I was hoping for, you know.
But like gaming should be, I think, in my opinion, like gaming should be understood. It's a game. It's supposed to be fun. It's nice that there are collector showcase hits and there's an opportunity to potentially make money, but it's still just a game. It'd be like, having multiple versions of Monopoly that have, full art foiled dollar bills. It's like, cool, I got the 1 in 100 Monopoly
Yeah.
with foil full art dollar bills. So now my version of Monopoly is worth $300. Okay. I still just want to play. It's fun. So like, yeah, there's that difference between like the player, the collector, and the business person, because business people need to make money. So they need to buy product, sell at a profit, or buy product, crack it, pray to God that they, get some big hits, resell it, rinse, wash, repeat. But that's not the common person. Most people are playing for fun, or they're tournament players, and they're not necessarily trying to make a buck. They might, but they just want to, play at locals. They want to play at tournaments. So, I think you guys have some good insights, especially, again, you've opened significantly more than the average person. So you actually are subject matter experts to say, hey, maybe a
gross.
case plus singles is a good idea. Well, actually, I like that because I'm a business person. I have my own website and TCG Player Store, and I love metrics because that helps me understand, these people are doing something more than I am, and now I know maybe I should buy that Yoda showcase I want instead of trying to pull it.
Yeah.
I love that card. Oh, I love that card so much. It's so cool.
The problem is I always think I learned my lesson, right? Like I said, like, all right, for set 3, I love the Clone Wars. I'm definitely going to buy a lot of product.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to, figure it out and chill out for set 4. And then they put out some spoilers, like the 3 or 4 cards, and I was like, I don't know if I can do it. The stuff they're putting out is just so quality. It's going to be a struggle for me.
Yeah.
Jack, help your brother out.
I try. I do try.
Cut his card in half. Give him the other half.
Cut
the
collector box in half.
Be like,
yeah, right.
Yeah. With these 5 pieces, you get your credit card.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's got to beat you at 5 different events to get his 5 pieces of Exodia back.
Oh, he'll win. That's easy enough. I didn't say it was good. I just like buying the game.
Oh, okay. So you're the collector, Jack is the player. Got it.
I was going to say I'm the personality high, but I feel like that might just be Flockton. I don't know. He
is certainly
hard to say. He is a personality. That's fair.
That's true. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think in general, like to the original question, in general, probably something like buying like 2 to 3 boxes in singles, I think makes a lot of sense. Since I am somebody who likes to like collect as well, just buying a case makes sense. And I enjoy that, and I don't feel bad about that. But I think in general, if you're somebody who is just really looking to like get a decent collection, I think you buy 2-3 boxes, do some singles, and especially, I mean, I don't know if every season is going to go this way. We mentioned it a little bit before we started recording, but it's like, set 3, if you bought 2 boxes to get your commons, uncommons, you could have ordered your rares and legendaries and gotten them before Christmas and still been ready for PQs in January. Like you had plenty of time to figure out what cards you needed, test some decks, like what you liked, what you didn't like, and not have to worry about the getting those cards immediately.
Yeah, and I saw on X, you guys were talking a little bit about how there's not a lot of like tournament level events. There's not a lot of PQs. It feels like the tournament season is kind of done until 2025. Do you think that might have an impact on people's purchasing decisions and why some of these booster boxes are just kind of, they're not, I don't think tanking is the right word, but like the price point for a case right now is like sub $400. And again, it's 6 booster boxes that generally MSRP around between 90 and 110. So a booster case should be give or take $600. And as of this recording, you could pick up a case for less than 400.
Phew. That's crazy to me.
I think it also helps that this has been like pushed as like one of the best sets to do like draft with. So I know a lot of people have been excited and doing that. And I don't know if that plays into a factor of like, man, so much product is being opened because so many people want to draft and do sealed and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely an element of I don't need to buy any product right now because my first PQ is until mid-February potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like we're going to 3, so right, like we're in the camp of we need cards a little bit faster because we'll be going a little earlier, we'll be testing a little more. But yeah,
also you're content creators, that's important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we also need them because we record games and do things like that.
We're supposed to.
You might need to be a part of the brand, just potentially. But something else that I'm looking at that's interesting is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So out of the top 10 showcases on TCG Play right now, Twilight of the Republic. So number 1 is Boba Fett from Spark. Number 2 is Leia from Spark. Number 3 is Anakin from Twilight. Number 4 is Han from Spark. And then number 5 is Yoda from Twilight. And then it's Palpatine from Twilight, Jango from Twilight, Rey from Shadows, Emperor from Spark, and Maul from Twilight. So Twilight of the Republic, set 3, the newest set at this time, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the top 10. And then Spark has 1, 2, 3, 4. So technically Twilight of the Republic has the most air quotes expensive showcases out of the top 10. So it's not a bad set to pull from in terms of just not only the potential hits but the potential value.
Yeah, I've been keeping a good eye on the showcase prices. Like I said in the beginning of this, I'm super interested in, a little too much so, but I do check them every day. Whether I should or not is again.
We used to play a game on our drive into our locals, and Brian would just pull up the showcase prices and be like, "All right, what do you think? What's your guess?"
Yeah, I really do enjoy the metrics of it, though. I
man
think
is a collector. This is a collector.
Yeah. I do think
my
it's
collector checklist. You got like 4 out of the 5 boxes marked already, bro.
Yeah, I've been struggling back and forth about going for the collector box. I'm still not entirely sure, but who knows? I say that, and I'm gonna get.
He's gonna do it.
I know there's no there's no reason to lie here, but but I do think it's interesting the fluctuation of these prices, because I don't really know the reasons. Like, I guess the meta fluctuations make sense, but some of them, like Hunter, has been high for no reason for the longest time, right? Like, he's like usually 150, 160, but like for his character, who was the last time you've heard anyone talk about playing Hunter? You know, never.
The most I've heard Hunter talked about actually is set 4. Since we're getting more and more, like every set that comes out, people are like, oh, there's 2 of that character, there's 3 of that character. Hunter's coming.
Oh, got you $1.
Yeah, I mean, I think you naturally see some high prices, though, of like the most recent set. Like, if you think about some of the ones that have dropped, like I look at like Kira or even like Kylo, and for a while they were holding like pretty good price, but it seemed like as soon as set 3 came out, they just dropped. Which, you know, as a Kira player, like, don't hate that. Still haven't, pulled the trigger or anything.
Okay. Thank you. Take my money.
So yeah, I think it kind of goes with like each set coming out after, like, I think we'll set 3, some of these will come down. And I feel like that's kind of playing into it a little bit, aside from like the meta ones, right? That's why Boba, even though he's suspended, was up there. Han has been up there. I think Rey's still sticking in value because she's a really good leader as well. The question is just, how is Leia still the second most expensive? If you're talking meta, but art, she's probably the best, arguably.
I
love her.
I think another reason for her is she was the first showcase they ever revealed, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
So she's kind of got that super nostalgia of this was the baseline of the showcase in general. Like, this was the first we ever saw. I do agree. Her art is gorgeous. But
Yeah.
like, I really feel like whoever the first one they showed off was, they were just naturally going to be really high because that's what everybody wanted for the longest time.
Yeah.
Also, it's Leia. Like, she's
Yeah.
such an integral part of the Star Wars universe, and by golly, the artwork on that card is just so. Oh man, it's like anime heaven.
Yeah.
Just
She's got the waifu tax, I think.
yeah, that's definitely
100%. I think there's a nice little combination of like, are they playable? Is the art good? Is it an iconic character? All the above.
Mhm.
Price.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we're getting more Rebels too, set 4, she definitely is worth a look, at least in that regard.
Yeah, super excited.
And she compare Green Hero with Target Town, which has been an amazing base lately, so she definitely has that going for her too.
Yeah.
Where Sabine has to run ECL, which obviously isn't a bad thing because ECL is amazing. Just a different type of deck you could get.
I was going to say, has to run? I don't think that means what you think it means, brother. No. But I don't know. This is, like I said, I'm going to stick to that answer. It's definitely what I've been most interested about.
Okay.
For sure.
So a thought. There's a lot of people who bought their Star Wars Unlimited product at launch. They're really excited. They're really happy. And that's awesome. You got exactly what you bought. You're super happy. You get to crack packs. You get to do stuff with your friends. And then, give or take 4+ weeks later, the cost of a booster box when bought in bulk goes from $100-ish to $64-ish. Again, we're looking at time of the recording. I'm on TCG Play right now, and there are cases of Twilight of the Republic for between $380, $400. So you guys paid MSRP, so about $600 for the case. If I wanted to, I could get myself a 33% discount just by waiting a couple weeks. Do you think people care? Do you think people are going to try and wait out some of these releases, let the prices drop a little bit, and then get back in? Or is there just so much product on the market that people are trying to liquidate these products and use that capital for set 4 and other things coming out, just because they don't want, if you're a business, you don't want 10 cases sitting on your back shelf gathering dust,
100%.
especially with so many major card games on the market. And there's the new Gundam trading card game, there's the new League of Legends card game, there's Union Arena, there's a lot of card games coming onto the market that a lot of people want. And so sitting on the Star Wars product that's not selling, it's like, this is bad. We got to just get rid of it, reinvest that capital, make more money. So what do you think?
Yeah, I'm curious. It seems like it's still like moving a lot too. I would need to look and like sort through the selling. I know TCG Player can look back, 6 months, a year, etc. To see how much it sold. It seems like everything is still moving like pretty good. And I don't have any frustration of, dang, our store does $90 a box. So
nice. Okay.
We're not like crazy.
We're
crazy. So I'm not like mad if anybody gets a box for like 80 or even 70 or 65 or whatever after. I'm generally pretty content like supporting my LGS and like still making sure I buy from them and move the product off them to make sure like they want to support the game as well. Right. But I mean, there's certainly a case to be like, hey, I'm going to wait to buy boxes, but it's also tough because this was the first set that you could argue you could do that. Because if you did that for set 1, you weren't going to get anything. No. If you did that for set 2, you're even pushing that. They had a healthier restock of it, but a good chance you were not going to get too many boxes.
And to put things in perspective, a booster case of Spark of Rebellion set 1 is going for about $500, so it's a lot closer to that $100 a box, give or take. And then set 2, Shadows of the Galaxy, is around the same price as Twilight of the Republic. They're both about $380, $390 for a case. So set 1 clearly still holds its value. It's not tanking at all. But set 2 and set 3 have definitely dipped about 25-30% off of what MSRP is. And that's another big thing to think about. You guys are content creators, so you need the cards early for the content. You're also competitors. You are going to events, you're traveling, you are probably going to try and play at Worlds. You're playing at PQs. You're playing at local showdowns. So there's a wide spectrum of, little Timmy playing at home with his dad versus, people who are trying to collect showcases. They're trying to prep for major tournaments, win big prizes, go to conventions, get the con exclusives, and then, everything in the middle, which is generally where most of the player base lands. A little bit of play, a little bit of collecting. And I don't think this is a bad thing for Star Wars. I don't think this is doom and gloom. I'm just very much a data kind of metrics person. And I find it fascinating when the showcases are definitely expensive, but the price of a booster box when bought in bulk is definitely going down. If you buy a single box, it's still pretty close to that, like $80, $90. I'm not seeing like individual boxes at like, $40 or anything like crazy like that. But it's just kind of like, I'd love to pick your brain since we've got, two qualified people to talk about it.
Shopaholics, you could say, like an add-X to the game.
Okay. So we've got two shopaholics. Well, one of you is shop, and the other one's the holic. So you can pick out who that is.
So I think the problem with my set 3 experience is my own fault, right? 100%. I can recognize, I can understand. So I bought a lot. I bought a lot for all 3 sets, right? But for the first set, for the second set, there are events to go to play, like, I feel like fairly regularly, spread out within the months leading up to the next set or after the first set, so on and so forth. But this one, I feel like since there's been kind of a drought, it definitely feels bad to have as much. And I like Jack said, it's hard to have a crystal ball and say, oh, I can wait to buy. But,
right.
For this one, I think it's probably my own fault. I have to be a big boy and admit it, but
I respect that. I respect that a lot.
But I'm not blaming them or anything. I just wish there were a little more things to do around this time of the year. So that's all I'm saying about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, truth. Literally, just my biggest issue with it is, I bought all these cards and I just haven't had anything to do with it.
So if that was different, let's say we're in an alternate dimension and you bought all of your set 3 stuff, and then there's immediately something to do. Would you have a different feeling about this, or would your
100%
perspective shift? Okay.
100%.
Yeah, I think so. Even a show that was my thing too. I don't need out of the gate these big events, right? I don't need a set to release in a week later, like a PQ type event. And part of that could, you could argue well, Jack, try to get your local game stores to do a 1K. And trust me, I've tried to get that promoted and stuff like that. But even just something within the first month of release, whether they shift up the store showdown, schedule of I know they were supposed to be sooner, but it feels like showdowns aren't until the same exact time as PQs, which feels a little bad, especially for somebody going to 2 or 3.
Ouch.
Because then it's whew, I mean, it's hard to justify 4 or 5 weekends, etc.
Yeah, I agree.
Of all them jammed together, and I'd rather do PQs potentially.
Is your local store doing any sealed events to kind of keep the hype going, where it's hey, we're gonna do draft, or we're gonna do a 6 or 8 pack sealed deck kind of thing?
Kind of not really. One of the stores has been trying to push a draft on Sundays and stuff, and I don't know how well that's been received or anything like that, but that's more of the vibe of, hey, it's for weekly play, we're just going to do a draft. Doesn't necessarily it's not an event or anything like that.
Are most people in your local area constructed players primarily? Is that kind of what's going on?
It seems that way, but also we ran a draft for set release. We did a charity draft and everything for that. And
cool.
We got 24 people at a brewery to just come and draft SWU and stuff. So it was a blast.
That's awesome. And any Twin Sons or multiplayer stuff going on?
No, not really.
I love Twin Sons so much.
I do
but
too.
But it's so hard to and so hard. This is such a lame first world problem. But it's so hard to cut across my collection to put good stuff into my decks when I already have Premier decks built, and for 1 game or 2 games. I don't know. it's a cool concept, but I feel like, and Jack has mentioned it to me before, where he's like, let's just make it like a commoner kind of thing, where you only have, commons and uncommons, and you kind of leave the rares
Pauper.
behind.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So
Tyler actually did that at the content creator event that we were all at. He was playing a Pauper Twin Suns deck, and it was still
Pauper, not Commander,
very, very potent. There's some good uncommons.
Yeah, there's some really good, like, I don't want to say a low level. That's not, like, that rarity has still got some great stuff in it.
And
I
how
feel
much
like that
we
opens
buy,
up
though,
some-
too. Like, we could even, like, bump it up to, like, rares.
Yeah, probably.
Like, into the deck. It's just legendaries I got, like, annoying to be, like, swapping those in and out. I only have 3 of them. Yeah. I don't feel like swapping my Lukes around or something like that for...
You could definitely do, no legendaries.
Yeah.
Or all commons. I mean, you get to pick your format. That's the fun of it. There's no forced format. But I think what we're trying to get to is currently you bought a bunch of product and you're not really able to do anything with it other than play with your homies. But after a while, it's like, well, we kind of want something to do, Now, I guess another good question is it the prize support you're wanting? Is it the challenge you're wanting? Because clearly you're able to play with friends at the store, so that's not the issue. So what is it about the showdowns and the PQs that make you happier versus just playing regularly at your locals? I'm just curious.
Honestly, a great question that I don't have an answer for. It just, like it feels like working towards something. Like, and especially since Worlds is open the first time, it doesn't really feel like there's a huge urgency, and I get that. However, I like to compete. I'm not very good at it, but I think it's really fun. These kind of events that lead into something else or lead into some cool prize support. Like the prize support doesn't end all be all at the end of the day, but it's certainly nice. Certainly a nice thought.
Yeah, and like it doesn't need to me. Like I just like that step up of like our weeklies right now are either like 3 rounds best of 3, but then I'm getting home late, so it's kind of hard to make those as well with the times that they start at. But then the other one's like just best of 1. So most times I'm walking away from that just being like, man, I feel like I really didn't get a lot of like swooing, even though I was at my weekly.
Okay.
So like that, and then also like it is just, and I'm not like super sweaty into where like, if my store had a 1K, I wouldn't be going crazy like meta testing trying to figure out the best thing. But it is fun to have like a top 8 or like some type of like breakdown where you can compete and get something. And like the prizes, for PQs and stuff, like I wouldn't say they're anything like amazing, but it is fun to have something that's like at the end there that you can actually compete for.
Yeah, plus with it priced out, like we're not going to get anything too.
It sounds like you guys.
Yeah, I'm not really winning anything anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah,
I don't know. You're a very competent player, my man.
Yeah,
but it sounds like you just want that challenge, which currently is not available. It's just kind of hang out, play. Okay, cool. See you next week. But you want something like to kind of drive for, which isn't going to really kick in until mid-February, you said.
Well, also, the other thing is, I mean, I don't know if anyone's seen our gameplay, but you can only play Flock so many times before you go absolutely mad,
True.
So...
Or you could join him and be mad.
Oh, I get mad, but not the kind I'm talking about.
Oh, see, I'm already in the mad territory. I'm just waiting for that mill deck. Once that mill deck happens, I'm coming out.
All the best people are.
You got Satine, you're getting closer.
I know. Yeah. I saw it. I'm like, all right, we've got one piece of the puzzle. I've got 3 of her. I'm just all right, waiting. I'm lurking in the shadows. I did it with Destiny. I'll do it with Star Wars Limited. Just need the tools. But yeah, I mean, I think that's an important thing to consider. Is everyone plays trading card games for different reasons, and what you feel is valid, what I feel is valid, and you're definitely tuned into the community, and I feel like what you feel, other people definitely feel. They've got all this product, and there's not necessarily anything they can do with it. December's almost over at the time of this recording. By the time this goes live, it's going to be, second, third week of January. People will be prepping for showdowns and, PQs. but you don't want to go 6 or 8 weeks without nothing to strive for. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I think that'll be, and so even one of the things that, and I got to talk to Xander about this too. We are from South Jersey, right outside Philadelphia, so it's very easy for us to go to PAX Unplugged, even if it's just a day.
How did you enjoy that?
So I mean, we weren't there very long. I could really only do Friday, and I even had like work stuff in the later afternoon, so we were probably only there for like
3 hours,
or
maybe?
something like that. Like it wasn't a crazy long time.
Uh-huh.
But I got to do an interview with Xander that we got to post, and we got to do a draft, which was fun. But that was like the extent of our PAX. This year was a lot lighter than it normally is in other years.
Yeah.
But one of my feedbacks was like, you know, Gen Con had these large events that I know a lot of people were excited for, and I heard a lot of people were disappointed that PAX didn't have it. And I understand that they don't want to put like official organized play track events behind a badge, which I get, and I love that. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. But I think you can still show up to these events like Gen Con or PAX Unplugged and be like, hey, you're not going to get any points towards Worlds or anything like that, but you can come and there's a playmat and some boxes for top 8 or, you know, something like single day events to where you could just do one on Saturday and you could have Friday and Sunday at the con. And they seem to get that because they thought like PAX went well. And, you know, Xander seemed to agree with like my feedback. And so that's something too for me, like that hole that I have for wanting to play more like competitive events could have been filled by PAX Unplugged, but it wasn't because they didn't have anything planned for that, which again, like I get, you know, they're still catching up on how popular the game is. And like, they're still surprised that people are fiending for, you know, even just large events at something like PAX, but something like that in the future too, I think would help alleviate some of my, you know, early concerns of that too.
Scratch that itch.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's definitely a fair desire to have events to travel to, especially since you're in an area where you can hit a lot of different locations and conventions to compete. I'm suspicious that they're trying to not mimic Destiny because everything was locked behind a badge, and that turned a lot of people off because you were just basically looking at, you know, in order to participate, since I don't live anywhere near PAX Unplugged, and I've been to a couple of them, for me, that would cost quite a few $100s. And that's a big investment when you start looking at like, okay, PAX Unplugged plus Gen Con plus, you know, insert name of convention here. You know, I can't do all of it. So I have to pick the right one. And I feel like most people on average can do one, maybe two, but then you also have to, you know, add in the PQs, and if you're in an area where they're doing, you know, 1Ks or case tournaments or whatever, you know, you only have so much time and so many resources and so much PTO from work. So you kind of have to look and go, oh my God, there's, you know, 18 different events. I could do 2. Which ones do I do? So I do understand the FFG philosophy of, what if we don't hide it behind a badge? What if we put it in a spot where you know it's coming and you can just go to that specifically? Because it does, I do think it feels kind of bad when like you pay for a badge for Gen Con and then all you do is one event. Like you're just playing a tournament the whole time. And it's like, man, all these people are getting to have fun and go shopping, and I'm spending $2,000 to play in a tournament.
Yeah.
I respect the decision. I get it, and I like it, and I think it makes sense. I'm just greedy.
Okay, you're on, but you're honest. You're honest. I respect that.
I'm nothing but forward. You know what I mean?
yeah. I like it.
I just want more. You know,
right. But also something to take into account. This is their first year. They haven't even been doing this for 12 months. Because when did it start? March.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are 9 months in, which is crazy to think about. In 3 months, we were all hanging out in Minnesota. Maybe we'll get to do it again. Probably not, but who knows? That was so much fun. Oh,
we'll be great. Yeah.
Like, hey, we're gonna do year 2. Yeah.
My God.
But like, it's crazy to think that Star Wars Unlimited has only been out 9 months in December. And I've done a lot. And I'm assuming, I think this is a safe assumption, 2025 will have more stuff. There will be a little bit more planning, a little bit more preparation. Now that they've had a good metric of like people want to play this game, and I think it's probably one of the best trading card games of 2024. Not necessarily just in like mechanics, but I really think Star Wars Unlimited is probably, other than Lorcana, one of the best trading card games to get someone started on. Just because of the IP, the simplicity, but also the low downtime. That's a huge thing for people, to just sit across from someone and twiddle your thumbs while they take 20 minutes. But with Star Wars Unlimited, it's like, okay, you do a thing, I do a thing, you do a thing, I do a thing. So your downtime is like what, 30 seconds to a minute tops. It's not very much. Right. Yeah.
So, it's just fast.
Yeah.
It's great.
But that's the thing, is like player agency, I think, gives a lot of value to a game. Because like we've all seen or played Magic the Gathering. It's like, all right, I'm gonna play my land, draw my cards, cast my spell, attack, play more cards, draw more cards, do more things, pass. And you're like, draw, play a land, pass. Cool. All right, I'm gonna take another 5 minutes to play my. And you're like, what? Judge disqualify
solitaire.
Yeah. Or like, okay, so I love the Pokemon trading card game. It's one of my favorite card games for multiple reasons. But in terms of player agency, that game is boring because you don't do anything. It's pure solitaire. The active player is searching, evolving, searching, using abilities, and you're just kind of like, okay, yeah. You want a soda, homie? But like Star Wars is so interactive, and it forces a big like social aspect where you got to talk it out. All right, I'm gonna for my action, I'm gonna play this unit. Okay, for my action, I'm going to attack your base. Okay, for my action, I'm gonna play this card. Oh, I have to destroy one of my defeat one of my units. Okay, I'm gonna defeat this one, and then for my action, I'm gonna use my epic action on my leader. So you're not only playing the game, but you're interacting, and it's so much fun. It's so great.
Absolutely. It's great.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, everybody that's like even jumped into it, like there's not too many people who have come out to like do a draft or a sealed or even learn to play and like walked away.
This game sucks, man.
Yeah,
right.
And that's, I get anecdotal of like my experience, but I've just seen lots and lots of good impressions of it.
Oh yeah.
It's just it's got good bones, I think it's only going to continue to grow. So I mean, it's
100%.
Pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting.
So controversial take. I've said this a couple times, and I've had mostly people agree with me. It hurts to say this, but I'm actually pretty happy that Destiny died for Unlimited to be as good as it is. What are your thoughts?
I agree. Like it stinks we had to go through that, and like I miss Destiny, but like if this. So the reason I'm not as bad as Brian, going back to the box conversation, is now have two kids.
Hey, congratulations!
It's awesome, rewarding. Obviously, wouldn't change a thing. But it was like if this was 2018, I'd be like insane amount collecting 20 something showcases and all the same thing.
Yeah,
like this game's great.
Brian, I need to get this man's address so I can send him a best old man dad mug for. And we'll get him some like Vader socks for Christmas, but they got to be too big.
Yeah. A little floppy,
Yeah, they go up to your knees, the knee socks,
All the way up.
Yeah. One side's Luke, one side's Vader, and the Luke has like a hole right where the big toe is.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
It's crazy to think about. In Destiny was you bought a case, you had a playset.
Yeah,
and like that's why they sat on shelves forever, because it was like, why would I ever want to buy anything after I have my collection? There's nothing to chase. There's no leader arts.
No, there was no collector aspect to Destiny. Once you had what you needed, there's no chase card. You couldn't. What was Vader going for when he first came out? $50.
Yeah, that was like probably the most expensive.
That was it. And then like Force Speed. That was it. And Force Speed was like what, 35?
Yep.
Oof.
Yeah. And you only needed no card ever hit 3 digits. Never. We never had $100 card. Now we're not talking about like the spot glosses and the special con exclusive stuff.
Yeah.
But like out of a booster box, your best hit was a Vader. And then even he dumped down to like 35, 40 after time. It was like, there's just so many Vaders. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And you only needed 2 of them too.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
your
think were
playset
decks
is
2 of
lower.
as well. I think they were right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you only needed 2 4 speeds and stuff.
Yeah, your
Mhm.
playset max was 2, which starting out was like, this is great. We don't need 4 of like magic. And then on the product business side, it was like, there's no reason to sell these. No one's buying them. Uh-oh. And I do think FFG learned, going back to the Carbonite packs, feels like they learned from Destiny that the player base is not enough to sustain a game. You need to have players and collectors to be successful. Again, Pokemon is a great example.
Yep.
The decks for Pokemon, the world level decks, like the best decks ever, are like $50. But this is like minimum rarity, nothing special. It's just literally the piece of cardboard that has text effects on it. But if you were to bling out that deck and get all the full art, foil rare, hyper rare, whatever, those decks could be hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So
Right.
Pokemon has the perfect, it currently has the perfect balance of, if you want to compete, do you have $50? Cool. Just buy singles and you're good. Or the other thing Pokemon did, which I hope everyone copies, including Star Wars Unlimited, they took decks from prior tournaments that won and made them into stock decks you could buy at Walmart.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
wow.
pretty cool.
So there was a Gardevoir Mew deck that came out, and it was like $30. It was 99% of a world championship deck minus like 2 trainers, and those singles combined were like $10, $15. So you could essentially go to Walmart or your FLGS, buy the Mew Gardevoir deck, pick up 8 cards because a play set is 4. So you buy 2 sets of 4 trainers, and you have the exact same deck that the same guy that just won the European Nationals won. Like, what? Hello? $50? Okay.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they got a
if you
chance
wanna-
to break into that with the
Yeah.
now not being starter decks and them having the spotlight decks.
Yeah. And I'm really hoping like Magic, Star Wars Limited, like all these companies realize, players want to play. And if you give them the opportunity to have high power decks for a low amount, maybe they'll reallocate their money into sealed product to try and crack, some of these Carbonite packs, some of these collector boosters. Because if you've already got the deck, you've got all this money laying around, but you want to play the game. Okay, cool. Buy like 2-3 Carbonite packs. Maybe you'll hit a, showcase leader or a prestige leader. I don't know what the prestige cards are, but you could just get this crazy, couple $100 card. It's like, oh my God. And it feels good. You get that dopamine hit of, I've got the deck I want, and I can spend extra money on cards I want because it's just fun. We love cracking packs. It's fun.
Yep.
So if you're listening, FFG, please make, tournament level decks. Maybe, you cut out a legendary and a rare or something, but, give people the prime skeleton and then they can build from that. That would be great. I would love it. It would make life so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be an awesome avenue for them to explore.
Yeah. These Carbonite packs, man. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited, but I'm conflicted. I don't know.
Take this man's Exodia. Take it. Just take it from him. Don't let him summon the 5 pieces.
Just so excited.
You saw what happened to Kaiba.
There are no weak cards in my deck, Kaiba.
Not if you're cheating.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, Yu-Gi-Oh! Such a fun TV show. It's so silly. That show's ridiculous. Okay, so non-Star Wars Unlimited related, but Star Wars related. Y'all watching Skeleton Crew?
I haven't yet. No.
Okay, then we won't talk about it. It's really fun. We'll move on to the next thing because I don't want to spoil it. It's very fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Space Goonies.
Yes.
Okay.
Best explanation I've heard so far. It's Goonies in space with kids.
It's hard to hate
In
that.
space. Yeah. And an elephant kid who's pretty fun. I like Neil.
Elephant kid.
Love him.
Oh yeah, he's literally an elephant kid. Do you know what species that is, Jack? I don't remember.
Yeah, no idea.
Okay, he looks kind of like Max Rebo from the
Yes.
Oh,
Cantina.
from the band. Yeah.
except younger, and his trunk's not all the way to the ground. He's a small child. But yeah. Okay, last couple thoughts on Star Wars Unlimited, and then we'll get on out of here. What do you think? So there's a lot of people who are reading about Star Wars Unlimited. There's a new set coming out with Star Wars with the Skeleton Crew. usually when there's a new show or a new movie, people are looking at, Star Wars stuff in general. And I'm 100% positive there's going to be a lot of people looking at Star Wars Unlimited going, there's a trading card game. But I played Magic that one time and I had a really bad experience. And I don't know if I want to risk spending money on another card game. What would you say to new players or people who are on the fence about Star Wars Unlimited? Like, what's your sales pitch? What do you love about the game that you think people should, give Star Wars Unlimited a try? Because again, you guys are subject matter experts. You definitely.
So I'll go first.
Well, Brian, you just had to do this too to a Magic player. Your coworker, or
yeah, I did.
Whatever. So what was your pitch to get them to come to the draft?
My boss's brother is a Magic player, and I was chatting with him a little bit about, I've played Magic once or twice. I've got the little, I bought the Bloomborough box, like the I don't know what it's called, the one that comes with the spin down with the paw print. It was really cute. My friends and I played a little.
You bought the what are those? I'm so old. So they used to be called Fat Packs. They're called something totally different now.
They're like an EBT for
it's an EBT from Pokemon.
ETB.
Was it Bloomborough?
Bloomborough box, yeah, but it's I don't know what kind.
They changed the name of the pack, so it's not called a Fat Pack because I guess that's not appropriate, but a lot of old heads still call it that. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's an ETB in Pokemon terms.
Yeah. So I had bought one of those and played it, and I was saying to him, I was like, I really enjoyed the game, and it was really cool. And I'm kind of more of a Star Wars Unlimited player, so I was explaining to him about it, and I said it's kind of similar to Magic in a way of gameplay, but it's easy to learn, tough to master. You go, I go, and it's Star Wars, right? That's usually all it takes for most people because Star Wars is awesome.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Usually when people get their hands on the cards, they're instantly like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is awesome. There's so many cool concepts and themes and motifs and all that kind of stuff. But also on top of that, the community is just so helpful, right? Like they're really kind. They're really helpful. I mean, I haven't seen anyone in our travels anyway be like putting up a stink. Let's say that as my phrase. I was going to use a different one, but
they're all playing One Piece. Jack knows.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're playing Flesh and Blood or something. I don't know. So come from me all you want. I'm a known Flesh and Blood disliker. But I mean, it's just been so.
At least you can buy product from Flesh and Blood, dude.
That's super true. Yeah, One Piece rip the dream, rip the One Piece. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just a culmination of all those things. There, it's like it's easy to get into. There's product. It's fun. The people are really nice, and it's Star Wars. So that's my elevator pitch. A little jumbled, but I got there.
It's a good one.
He ended up loving it, by the way. My
great. Brother. Okay, so, see, there you go.
So it happened. We're doing great.
Yeah, now I'm like, what is my pitch? Mine's probably like, do you like Star Wars? Buy it. Perfect. Awesome. Good job.
Sometimes that's all you need.
I mean,
truly.
Yeah, I probably would try to lean in to be like, hey, what is your like favorite movie? And then like, I'm just trying to think it's like somebody like super casual, like getting into it for like the first time potentially. Just being like, hey, like you like Star Wars here. What's your favorite movie? Here, they've got this leader. Like, do you like Underworld? Do you like this? Like, and then even going into the next set, it's like, do you like Han Solo or do you like Boba? All right, here's this deck. Let's give it a whirl. Like, let me know what
do you like Han Solo or do you like Boba? He's there several times.
Yeah, there's several options of them.
Yeah,
he's been there 4 times in a year, so it's great.
Yeah,
we just need Dash Rendar. That's all I need. That's all I'm looking for. But yeah, sometimes it's really as simple as that. Do you like Star Wars? I do. Do you like trading card games? I sure do. Cool. Try this. Oh my gosh. Didn't know it was there. Yeah. Awesome.
Right.
Because I mean, Star Wars is still young. Unlimited is extremely young compared to the current market of trading cards. But like, I'm glad it's doing so well. Like, is your local scene growing? Is it like, doing a good group of folks? Like, what do you think for your local scene? Because everyone's locals are totally different, and that's what's fascinating about card game communities. Everything is unique per, not even per state, like it's per store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Tough to say.
they are. I mean, like I would say we generally have pretty good ones. Like there's a good one in Philly at Red Caps. There's like a good option in South Jersey. And like I feel like there's just good options all around. I mean, to me, the biggest thing was like the release day draft was like super cool that we got to do, and getting 25 people to like show up and come and draft makes me like hopeful that yes, there are a bunch of people here. We might be at a few different stores and stuff like that, but like when these events happen, like people are showing up, and
Okay.
there were a lot of faces who I didn't recognize, even thinking back to like set one stuff.
Yeah, I agree. That was a
Cool.
great time. A lot of great memories already with this. It's just the first year,
And that's exciting. That's a
Yeah.
good metric for any game, because you know how most trading card games don't survive the first like 2 years. They're like, that is the test. Can you survive 24 months? So far,
Yeah,
we're doing okay. We got a strong 9 months. I think the biggest thing I like about the new FFG team is they're listening to the community. That was like such a struggle with Destiny, as people would say, this card is really not great for the meta. This combo is really frustrating. Please help. And it felt like it would fall on deaf ears, or by the time something would change, it was so late it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
It's on the boat.
100%.
yeah, and currently they're like not only are they listening, but they're proactive. Like it's a two-step process, because it's nice to know, hey, we're listening. It's even better to know we're doing something with that information. And seeing
100%.
Boba get nixed, I was like, wow, this is a good sign. Also, the way they're
Yeah.
treating content creators, that's a great sign. Like they're involved with the community, they're listening to the community, and they actively listen to when we say, hey, this isn't fun, Boba's a problem. And then I do understand it took them a little time because they need to gather metrics. They don't want to just listen to.
Yeah, they just want to do it
loud
off feeling.
people. Yeah. Well, because like we've seen games where a small minority is loud, and the company goes, okay, cool, we'll just get rid of that. And everyone's like, wait, what? Why? Don't do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we heard from the community. It's like, no, you heard from like 3 people. That was a terrible idea. And they're like, oh, well, too bad, we already did it. So like,
Yeah.
I appreciate the listening and supporting the listening with like metrics going from, hey, Boba is in like 80% of all top 8s, and he's winning like 70% of all events. It's a little bit higher than you really want. Like you probably should do something. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
let's look at the last 3 to 6 months of tournaments. Oh yeah, they're not lying. He's gone. See ya. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You can really tell their level of dedication and commitment to the game too. I mean, every Wednesday they do it, when they do the stream, you can just tell that they know their stuff. They know their stuff. They want you to feel it's a silly way to say it, but I feel like they want you to be comfortable, safe, kind of, in enjoying what they're putting out to the world.
That's a
And I
great
think it's
word.
working.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I think it's working.
Jack, you remember when we were doing Destiny? It did not feel like that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of
On the boat.
like the biggest. So obviously, them like
On the boat, baby.
That needs to be a
Them-
shirt.
shipping us out to Minnesota and like hosting us. Like obviously, that's like a huge big tell that they're different.
Oh,
but also like
Man.
I tried for the longest time to get Jeremy on Golden Dice back in the Destiny days.
Yeah.
And not to his fault, but it just got kicked down the road. Like we got to double check. It got kicked to marketing. Like nobody really had an answer there either.
Yeah.
And then it was like it was our first spoiler, or no, our second spoiler when we got 2. Jeremy was the one. We did a podcast and I got to interview him, and he came on. And it was like, all right, so what I could never do in Destiny, I did before the game even came out.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Unlimited.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm very happy that whatever happened, whatever changed, it's definitely working, because it's like you said, it's safe. You feel like you're a part of it. You don't feel like you're an outsider. And I know that they've said they really want to make people in the community on the content creator and the player side feel like they're a part of this experience, not just thanks for buying our product. Please buy some more.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
it feels like a nurturing relationship almost, you know?
Yeah, it feels less.
And that's what I like about it. It feels very much like they care.
Yeah.
And they are telling you constantly that they do and just showing it too. Not just saying it, but, you know, putting their money where their mouth is.
Less business, more relational.
Right. And I respect that. I respect that a ton. And I think people really saw that in the Boba stream too.
Yeah.
They're blown away.
Yeah, that and the way they did that too was great. I mean, even, you know, not to go beat on some One Piece players again, but the way Bandai would handle.
I played all the Bandai games. I played Dragon Ball, Digimon. I have a collection of One Piece. I'm excited for Gundam. Bash Bandai as much as you want. They don't care.
Yeah, but it was just like how they handled stuff. They like released like a 5-band thing, and then like the next day they're like, oh, never mind, because same thing. It was like everybody's like, wait, why? Like, you're banning this thing where the next set we've already determined there's like good counters and like it's going to be balanced, and it was. But Bandai was just like, yeah, we're banning it. It's gone, and then they just reverted it. It was like you're just getting whiplash, and you could tell that it's just like what are we doing here? And do not get that feeling from how like Xander and Danny went on stream and talked about it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing it right. They're treating everyone right. They're building the community right. And I do. Oh, also, I know this might sound silly if you've if you've never played Star Wars Destiny, but like back in the Destiny days, hitting release dates was actually a problem for Asmodee.
Yep.
And the fact that Unlimited has not only hit their release dates, but they've hit it in stride. I have seen nothing but success with local game stores when it's like, hey, set 2 is coming out. Cool. It is in their store. Hey, set 3 is coming out. It is in their store. There might be a little bit of a product shortage up front because it's hot, but it's not like Destiny where it's like, okay, this set's coming out in December. Now, January. No, it was March. It'll be at Worlds in May. We'll see you then.
It's on the boat.
Wait a minute. Yeah, it's on the boat.
It's on the boat.
Wait, what? So,
anybody I guess doesn't know that either. That's how they would update us. Was their website? You maybe noticed it changed, and one of the longest continuing things it would say on the boat for like months.
Yeah,
it felt so goofy, like saying that back in the day when we were like, all
but
right,
dude, we would check that page like every day.
All the time.
We're not getting any communication. Where's it at? Oh, still on the boat.
Yeah.
Well, because remember, FFG is primarily a board game company, so it was very common for them to say, like, I remember this exactly. Like when they would do like Cosmic Encounter. Hey, it's at the printer. Hey, it's on the boat. Hey, it's at the warehouse. And so you had this like cool expectation built in, because there was a little button underneath the game that kind of sort of updated you on where the game is. And so you knew like, okay, it's at the warehouse, which means it's probably a month or 2 out from release.
It's like tracking a Domino's pizza.
Yeah, except with Star Wars Destiny, it was like trapped on the boat for 6 months. And you're like,
it was delivered and your delivery driver ate it in the car, you know?
Yeah, it's like, is it just floating in the Caribbean? Like, why is the rum gone? Where's the Destiny pack? It's like, I
can answer that question.
Yeah, it's in the trash.
Yeah,
but
really.
I have to give credit where credit's due. This new wave of Fantasy Flight games is phenomenally better than anything they've ever done. And if they keep going, I really think Star Wars Unlimited has a very healthy lifespan. If they change and go back to the old ways, we know what's going to happen, and it's not pretty, unfortunately. So keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. It's good. It's very
Absolutely.
good. All right, last thing. Last thing, and then we'll get on out of here. What is a card you hope to see in the future, like the next year? So 2025, if you could get a character, a weapon, an upgrade, a vehicle, a battlefield, whatever, what do you want to see? And it doesn't have to be like something new. It could be like, I want to see another Obi-Wan Kenobi. I want to see like Old Man Kenobi from, episode 4, where he's, just mentally unstable and giving Luke a lightsaber to kill himself with preemptively. Here,
I was really hoping
hoping
for General Kenobi this set, but I didn't seem to get it. So
him and his armor.
He's coming. I can feel it.
I also want Watto, which is probably no longer a popular opinion.
Really? Okay. Do you want Watto leader or Watto unit?
I don't think he's like a leader slot kind of guy, you know.
could be.
But then again,
We got
here's
a Padme.
Watambor.
Yeah, we got
Here's
Watambor.
Watambor. Here's Padme. Here's Aichi.
Newt
And
Gunray.
again, yeah. And the thing is, like, they can do any of these kinds of things, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That definitely works. So,
What would Watto leader do?
Can I roll a
resource
chance cube
cheating
in the
for sure.
You have to bringing dice back into the card game. Nice, very nice.
It's
There it
the
is.
Destiny player.
There's a
in me,
will,
you know?
there's a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, right.
All right, it's Pokemon. We got to start flipping coins, rolling dice. Let's see what happens.
Flipping coins
Get-
plus
get your
40
Misty
for
dice
every
out.
heads. Yep.
Oh, you playing a TCG Pocket?
Not like a crazy amount.
Okay,
Now
yeah,
it's a pack opening simulator mostly for me.
Yeah,
Well, the,
pretty
new-
much.
the new pack actually comes out tomorrow, which is totally irrelevant for the time this comes out. But second set of packs comes out on the 17th. Yes,
I think it's just
Woo-hoo.
Mew. Yeah, tomorrow, right?
No, it's the second booster set.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Yeah, I
That's
haven't paid
fun.
attention like I said.
No, that's
I
fair.
saw it in
Anyways,
passing.
yeah, what would Watto do? What do you want him to do as a leader? Just
Something with
math,
resource
leader design.
Something with resources, like
Okay.
I mean, just how like Han cheats out something, or you know. But I don't know what I'm terrible at game design. I just know I want the character to exist. you
Fair
know?
enough. I respect that. Yeah. All right, Jack. What do you want in a card in the next year in 25? What do you want to see?
I am excited for hopefully more resistance, more exploration of the sequels. I think I would like.
Okay.
Say what you want about where the movies went and stuff. Not going to like argue any of that, but mostly, I liked the characters regardless of where those movies went. So I like to see, like, it was cool getting a good Rey. Like, it's cool that Rey's an option.
Yeah.
But then you look at Finn and it's like,
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
and then they printed him again in set 3 as a unit.
Yeah.
Please, God, make Finn good. Yeah, it's like, help.
And then, like, it's really cool that we got, like, a good Poe unit, but, like, getting him as a leader would be, like, super sick. And, there's the potential piloting. I think, we saw his face somewhere, didn't we?
Yeah.
Is he on the pack artwork? I think it is.
I could see him as a pilot leader. That'd be sick. I mean, that's what he's known for.
Yeah, exactly.
Make Black One finally good.
And then you print his jacket as an upgrade, and when that's on Finn, he's like a 10-10.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that... when you assemble the jacket, the boots, and the helmet, you have the Exodia Poe Dameron, and you just win the game.
Yeah. I think so. Like, I End of Destiny, I played a lot of like Afra and Snoke and stuff like that, and those were just a lot of fun. And like, it's cool seeing Afra. Wish she was like a little better too. Like, we don't have a lot of like resource recursion just yet, so she's a little awkward. Or not resource, discard.
Yeah.
But that potential's there. You always can look at it each set and stuff like that. But I'm excited to like see like a potential Snoke or a Poe or anything like that as a leader.
Yeah. That would be cool. I would love to see an alternate win condition. Something, maybe an Exodia where, if you have certain cards available, you win, or, kind of like you're going on a quest. And if you complete this quest, I don't know. Do you guys remember the old Decipher game where you had all these like alternate win cons where you could just kind of play your own game in the middle of the regular game? It was like, what are you doing? I'm doing my thing. Stop me.
I did not.
Uh-huh.
But Destiny did
Decipher,
end
no.
with like constructing the Death Star, which I thought was pretty
Yes, that was so cool. Like, yes, yeah. I would love to see them explore weird and unique ways to win. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Star Wars Unlimited, but I just love the opportunity to say, I'm going to do my thing. You can figure that out or not. I don't care. See ya. And then you kind of go off on your little adventure. And it's like, what? So you're kind of playing like a little mini game inside of the regular game, and there's just so many opportunities for mind games and all kinds of traps and things. Yeah, if you could assemble the Death Star and then just blow your opponent's base up, like, oh, okay, let's go.
Yeah. I liked that. It was always like a fun little what if kind of situation.
Right. Oh yeah. I also would love to see more hero decks perform highly, because other than Sabine, usually it's pretty villain heavy, which Destiny was pretty villain heavy too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
There was a couple metas where hero was very dominant, but for the most part it was pretty villain heavy for the life of the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it feels
especially like
that
trying
with
to see
the-
some of their top end would be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like
Like, yeah, I was really hoping Yoda was kind of bring that,
I
but
wanted
then it was
Yoda,
like
yeah,
he still just doesn't have the tool. Like, if not saying they need to like print something as powerful as Avenger, but even like something in that vein that Hero could have to like help lock a game out when they get late would
Yeah.
be really fun to see.
yeah. And I'm willing to guess in time Hero will perform better, but just based on what I've seen and what I've experienced, villain is usually the more dominant side. And I'd love to see kind of a 50-50 in the meta where it's like half the decks are half the decks are hero, half the decks are villain, and you have an equal chance versus what would you say right now? Maybe it's like 60-40, 70-30, like villain favorable.
Yeah, and
it's
I mean,
hard to-
I think we'll potentially see that number change. Like, it was so hard because like Boba was just so good, so it was like 100% villain.
Yeah,
because
it was
Boba
all
was
villain.
100%. So yeah,
I like
I'm
that a
hoping
lot
we'll
of
see
things are
that change
viable,
in the coming. Because I'm trying to think like off the top of my head, like Ray's pretty good. Like you said, Sabine. Like I even think like there's some
Han.
unexplored stuff with Han
Han was
2
good.
of Han
Mhm.
1. Yeah.
But like, Django's hot, Bubba was hot. Um
Yeah.
Palpatine was hot. I mean, it was just very. I mean, yes, Boba was like villain. Oh, I hear Bosk is pretty good right now too.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like
he's hard control.
the big control, hard control. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've been looking into that deck because control's fun.
Agreed.
Said who?
Me,
Control
I agree.
players,
Yeah, exactly.
the smaller niche of the niche community, the control players. It's better than aggro players.
A control player would say that.
Yeah. Of course we would say that. That's our motto. Control is better than aggro.
Of course.
Well,
Absolutely.
man, this has been fun. I have a lot of high hopes for Unlimited, especially with so Set 4 is Jump to Lightspeed. That comes out what, February?
It should be the same cadence. It should be March. Should always
March?
be
Okay.
March, July, November.
Okay, so we're 2-3 months out, depending on when you listen to this, and you guys are going to be doing some tournament stuff. So we'll definitely have you back on to talk more about Star Wars Unlimited once Set 4 comes out, especially with those Carbonite packs. Because, like I said, by the time this episode goes live, I'm 100% sure we're going to get some kind of stream or multiple streams explaining, like, what is a premium foil and what in the heck is this prestige card? How many? I want to know how many prestige cards are in the set. Is it going to be like there's 10 or there's 50? Because that's going to make my life miserable if it's a large number as a collector. I would love for them to maybe spoil a little bit of the pull rate for like, hey, a showcase leader is like 1 a box or 1 in a case. Like, oh, hey, I'll take 2 boxes, please. Thank you. Or,
yeah, right.
Whatever. Because, that's an important metric.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
There's so many things that we don't know. So next time we come on, we can look back and go, aha, we know now. But
I cannot wait to find out.
Yeah, I also really need a stronger Thrawn card. Please. He's
on the
I know
set art or whatever.
I
that's
know
called.
he is like one of my top 3 favorite characters, and I need a really nasty Thrawn. Please, oh please.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I would love people to go, what the heck is that blue guy? Oh, let me tell you. You're about to find out.
The winning card, the win more.
Right? Yeah. See, he could probably be an alt win condition where it's like, assemble these certain cards, just auto win. Like, oh, yeah. But anywho, any last thoughts before we get on out of here? Anything you want to talk a little bit more about? Or go ahead and plug your podcast too, so people who've stuck around with us on this journey can go listen to your podcast, watch your videos, and enjoy all your stuff, because it's a lot of fun. I enjoy watching your stuff, especially all of the news you cover on Twitter, because that just makes life so much easier. It's like, aha, now I know things because Jack posted it.
Yeah, I try to be pretty good with that stuff, so you can always like find us on Twitter, Facebook, Blue Sky if you're on there as well. And yeah, I mean, we do. Again, holidays have kind of like messed with it a little bit, but generally we'll do 3 videos a week, whether that's gameplay, whether that's podcast, something is generally posted from us. But yeah, just Golden Dice Podcasts on all those platforms. You'll be able to find us there. And if you're going to any events, I believe we have
New York PQ.
Yeah, New York,
the
City, Maryland, and Philly.
PQ. Yeah.
When are those? So again, this is being recorded December 16th. This is going to go live like second week of January. So approximately when are those events?
Maryland is the 18th of January. New York is the 25th of January, and Philadelphia is the 22nd.
Man, I'm so jealous. You
February.
could just go to Philly and get a cheesesteak whenever you want.
Oh, it's glorious.
That's great. Got one at PAX. It was delicious.
Do you have a couch I can crash on? Just come get a cheesesteak, play some Star Wars Limited. We'll play some Twin Suns.
There we go.
The Twin Suns.
Have some fun. Actually, have y'all thought about building a cube? Since we actually have enough cards at this point, you could build a cube to draft out of.
That has never been my jam, but I totally understand
Fair
people
enough.
who want to,
Yeah, I'm a sucker for draft. Drafting is my favorite thing ever, and cube drafting is so much fun, especially with Winchester and Rochester formats. Oh Lord, so good.
Yeah, the Swoo Cube. I've seen the Swoo Cube guy do the.
Yeah, there's a content creator, Swoo Cube. Whoa.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I couldn't say it.
And he's not far from us. We've seen him at I think he's more center PA, where we're South Jersey, but we've seen him at showdowns. And
nice.
That's kind of his content is crafting a cube.
Yeah,
You guys got to try cube draft. It is the best. It's so much fun.
yeah. I'll try anything for Star Wars Unlimited. Truly,
Yeah, true.
I just love it.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on, gentlemen. It was fun. We'll have to see if we can get the rest of the team on in a future episode. But
Definitely.
yeah, have I know this is going to be late by the time this records, but have a Merry Christmas. Have fun. And then good luck at your events. Hopefully you can, take some W's and come back with some cool stories. And
Appreciate that. Yeah.
we'll keep an
Yeah, I
eye
hope
open
so. Thank you.
Keep an eye open for that Carbonite stuff, because I really want to know what they are doing with these packs.
Oh,
It's a dirty little tease. It's like, Roger Rabbit, where you see the Jessica Rabbit leg, and then they walk over, and it's just a leg. It's a prop. You're like, wait a minute, I've been had. What is this?
They pulled the rug out,
Yeah. Oh man, good times. All right. Well, we will see y'all next time. Thank you everybody for joining us at Kado Games. We'll see everyone next time.